Good evening. You're with us on DD India. Welcome to Express News. Over the next half an hour, we'll update you with the top 100 news of the day from across the country and the world in a quick, succinct manner. Let us start the Express News. Union Health Secretary Rajesh Bhushan chairs a high-level meeting with the states to review COVID-19 public health response measures and preparedness amid reports of Omicron variant of COVID-19 across various countries. States advised not to let their guard down and keep a strict vigil on the international passengers coming into the country through various airports and land border crossings. Test, track, treat strategy re-emphasized. Centre underlines the need to maintain the infrastructure supply for essential drugs. Centre makes it clear that the Omicron variant doesn't escape RTPCR and rapid antigen tests. States advised by Centre to ramp up testing for prompt and early identification of any cases. Centre advises strict vigil to be on emerging clusters and hotspots for timely and effective management. Also advised daily monitoring to track and contain the spread of transmission of any VOCs in the country. States further advised to ensure strengthened infrastructure, adequate availability and stock of drugs, supervised home isolation. All COVID-19 positive samples to be promptly sent for genome sequencing to be mapped by INFRA labs. Effective and timely coordination between various stakeholders has been stressed upon. GHAR DASTAK vaccination campaign extended till 31st of December with focus on full vaccination. Experts term the emergence of the new COVID-19 variant as a pandemic within a pandemic. They underline the continued importance of COVID-appropriate behavior. Replying to a question in the Rajya Sabha, Union Health and Family Welfare Minister Mansukh Mandavia says that no cases of Omicron COVID-19 variant have been detected in India so far. Mandavia reiterated that India is checking suspicious cases and conducting genome sequencing and assured that the nation has a lot of resources and can manage any situation. Parliament continues to witness uproar and noisy scenes as opposition members in both the houses protest, forcing repeated adjournments in both houses. Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu rejects request for the revocation of suspension of 12 MPs, says not considering appeal as suspended MPs have not shown any remorse. The opposition party staged walkout from both houses of Parliament protesting against the suspension of 12 MPs. Boycott the day's proceedings after the chairman asked them to apologize. After the opposition stage of walkout from the House, Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla calls a meeting of floor leaders of all parties to discuss and end the deadlock. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman terms cryptocurrency as a risky area in Rajya Sabha, says Centre yet to take calls on advertisements around cryptocurrency. On Monday, she was quoted as saying in the Lok Sabha that there was no proposal to recognize Bitcoin as a currency in the country. Regulation of non-fungible tokens is being discussed by the Centre. The Finance Minister further clarifies that no decision has been taken on banning advertisements of cryptocurrency. Steps, however, are being taken to create awareness through RBI and SEBI. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman says that the government will soon introduce a bill regarding cryptocurrencies in the ongoing winter session of Parliament. The Cryptocurrency and Regulation of Official Digital Currency Bill 2021 seeks to prohibit all private cryptocurrencies in India but allows for promoting the underlying technology and its uses. Admiral R. Kumar took over as the new Navy Chief today. He replaced Admiral Karambir Singh. Admiral R. Kumar was earlier serving as the Commanding-in-Chief of the Western Command of the Indian Navy. The Sensex at the BSE drops 196 points to settle at 57,065. Nifty declines 71 points to end at 16,983. At the multi-commodity exchange, gold futures due for a December 3rd delivery were last seen 0.5% up at 47,847 rupees. Silver futures due for a December 3rd delivery were last seen 0.5% higher at 61,915 rupees per kilo. Rupee paired initial gains ended 10 paise lower at 75 rupees 17 paise against the US dollar. Fuel prices were kept unchanged for 26 consecutive days on Tuesday. In the national capital, petrol is currently being sold for 103 rupees 97 paise a litre, while diesel rate stood at 86 rupees 67 paise a litre. In Mumbai, petrol is being retailed at 109 rupees 98 paise per litre, while diesel is being sold at 94.14 rupees per litre. Crude oil futures were down by 3.7% during the afternoon session today. December crude oil futures were trading at 5,145 rupees. Twitter's new Indian-American CEO Parag Agrawal took to his Twitter account to share the news and expressed his gratitude to Jack Dorsey and the team. The Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation announced that GDP growth estimated to be 8.4% in the second quarter, that is July to September period in the current fiscal year, as compared to 7.4% contraction in the same quarter last year. Meanwhile, the combined index of 8 core industries stood at 136.2 in October 2021, which increased by 7.5% as compared to the index of October 2020. On to Wall Street, the S&P 500 gained 1.3% to end at 4,655, while the DASTAK composite gained 1.9% to 15,783. The Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 0.7% to 35,136. With the administration of 78,80,545 vaccine doses in the last 24 hours, India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage has now exceeded 123 crore 25 lakh as per reports till 7 this morning. The recovery of 10,116 patients in the last 24 hours has increased the cumulative tally of recovered patients to 3 crore 40 lakh 18,299. Consequently, India's recovery rate stands at 98.35%. Sustained and collaborative efforts by the centre and states and UTs continue the trend of less than 50,000 daily new cases being reported for 156 consecutive days now. 6,990 new cases were reported in the last 24 hours. The active caseload presently stands at 1,543,000. Active cases presently constitute 0.29% of the country's total positive cases, which is the lowest since March last year. The testing capacity across the country continues to be expanded. The last 24 hours saw a total of 10,12,523 tests being conducted. India has so far conducted over 64 crore 13 lakh cumulative tests of COVID-19. While testing capacity has been enhanced across the country, weekly positivity rate at 0.84% remains less than 1% for the last 16 days now. The daily positivity rate reported to be 0.69%. It has remained below 2% for the last 57 days and below 3% for 92 consecutive days now. COVID-19 cases swiftly soar across the world. Infection and casualty both are rising with every passing day. The world has registered over 26 crore 24 lakh cases of COVID-19. The number of recoveries stand above 23 crore 70 lakh globally. More than 52 lakh 25,000 lives have been lost globally due to the pandemic. The USA continues to be the worst affected nation with COVID-19. The US has registered more than 4 crore 93 lakh cases of the disease, with the death toll surpassing 8 lakh. World Health Organization's Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus joined world leaders, German Chancellor Angela Merkel and Chilean President Sebastián Pinera, for a long-planned and virtual special session of the UN Health Agency's member states at the World Health Assembly. WHO Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus said that emergence of the highly mutated Omicron variant underlines the perilous and precarious situation we are facing globally. Tedros added that many uncertainties remain about just how transmissible and severe infection by the highly mutated Omicron variant might be. G7 health ministers held an urgent meeting to discuss developments with regard to concerns related to the Omicron variant and praised the exemplary work of South Africa in both detecting the variant and alerting it to others. Britain will offer a COVID-19 booster shot to all adults in a bid to accelerate its vaccination program amid concerns of the new Omicron variant. Health Minister Sajid Javid said that the Joint Committee on Vaccination and Immunization will review the booster program to reduce the gap between second doses and boosters. In an attempt to curb the spread of the new variant, face coverings will be compulsory in shops and on public transport in England. Javid announced that changes will be made on self-isolation rules as well. US President Joe Biden reassured that America was prepared to handle the new COVID-19 Omicron variant and pledged to accelerate the development of vaccines to handle it. Joe Biden also said that the White House is working with vaccine makers, PFIZER, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson to develop contingency plans to handle the new strain. Latin American countries have announced new measures on passengers from African nations to contain the spread of the new Omicron variant in the region. Cuba will ratchet up restrictions beginning December 4 on travelers arriving from South Africa, Botswana, Lesotho, Eswatini, Zimbabwe, Namibia, Malawi and Mozambique. Passengers will be allowed to enter Cuba but will be required to comply with multiple precautionary measures including proof of vaccination, 3 PCR tests and a 7-day quarantine. In Canada, a further 2 cases of the Omicron coronavirus variant have been detected in Ottawa, bringing the country's total number of cases to 5. Spain has detected its first case of Omicron variant of the coronavirus. Health Ministry has strengthened controls on all passengers arriving in Spain from South Africa, Botswana, Eswatini, Lesotho, Mozambique, Namibia and Zimbabwe with a quarantine for 10 days. Poland will ban flights to 7 African countries and extend quarantines for some travelers amid concerns over the new Omicron variant of the coronavirus. The US pharmaceutical giant PFIZER has already started working on a version of its COVID-19 vaccine specifically targeting the Omicron variant. Bangladesh has issued health guidelines to tackle the new COVID-19 variant. The guideline calls for discouraging all kinds of public gatherings at places such as tourist spots, recreation centers, cinema halls, and so on. It also calls for limiting dining facilities at restaurants to 50% of their capacity. Barbados ditched Britain's Queen Elizabeth as head of state, forging a new republic on Tuesday with its first ever president and severing its last remaining colonial bonds nearly 400 years after the first English ships arrived at the Caribbean island. European, Iranian and Russian diplomats sounded upbeat as Iran and world powers held their first talks in 5 months in Vienna on Monday to try to save their 2015 nuclear deal. The meeting in Vienna ended a long hiatus triggered by the election in June of Ibrahim Raisi, an anti-Western hardliner. The talks are effectively indirect negotiations between Tehran and Washington, with other officials shuttling between them. The White House on Monday unveiled this year's Christmas decorations based on the theme, Gifts from the Heart. The official White House Christmas tree in the Blue Room celebrates the gift of peace and unity. US First Lady Jill Biden helped mark the start of the Christmas holiday season on Monday by reading a children's book. The First Lady wished a Merry Christmas to the children, who were then treated with a brief holiday musical performance with puppets. Russia's iconic Red Square ice rink opened for the 16th time with a colorful show featuring Olympics dancer Tatiana Navka, who was also a winner in 2006. Auction house Bonhams has said that it was selling the world's first non-fungible tokens for ballet with Russian dancer Natalia Osipova in the starring role. The NFTs feature 3 video performances by Osipova, principal dancer at the London's Royal Ballet. Barcelona's Sagrada Familia temple added its newest piece to architect Antoni Gaudi's masterpiece, a 5.5-ton star made of steel and glass, placed atop its 138-meter high pinnacle. The star will be lit along with 800 windows on December the 8th. Ski resorts in China have begun to open to public these days as winter has brought enough snow to the north and northeast parts of China. Meanwhile, local authorities of Xinjiang have dispatched snow-clearing vehicles and personnel to clear roads to ensure smooth traffic as the heavy snow and strong gale have swept across most parts of the province since Friday. In South Korea, a service allowing passengers to ride self-driving cars as public transportation will soon be launched in Sangam-dong of Seoul. It's the first instance of the commercial use of autonomous cars in Korea. An exhibition organized by the Chinese embassy in Japan to promote next year's Beijing Winter Games has opened in Tokyo. The aim of the event is to drum up support for the Beijing Olympics in February. Scientists in the Nha Trang city, Can Hoa province of Vietnam released unique specimens that give people a glimpse of what sea creatures look like on the inside. These images of sea creatures have been made invisible, with only their skeleton remaining. Japanese drone manufacturers are using changes to regulations in the country to develop devices that take advantage of capabilities that will now be allowed. A Tokyo-based startup is now developing a delivery drone that can fly in urban areas. People in the city of Kannonji, Japan have repaired a giant sand sculpture of an ancient coin. About 160 people, including city officials and volunteers, took part in the work. The Central Market in Hong Kong was the site of a robot competition involving more than 20 schools throughout the city. The students used their minds to control the machines in order to earn the top prize. Men and women participate in the Ingasana dance in the harvest season by playing the Vaza instrument. The instrument is made from cow horns. Ingasana are the members of an African ethnic group of Sudan. Anand Prakash Chokse, an educationist based out of a small town in India's central Madhya Pradesh state, gifted a house styled as a miniature of iconic Taj Mahal monument to his wife, drawing the attention on social media. On to some sporting action now. The All India Junior Selection Committee has named additions and replacements to India A and India B squads. Indian badminton star PV Sindhu will lead the Indian contingent in the BWF World Tour Finals from Wednesday. World number 11 SATWIK-CHIRAG Rankireddy and Chirag Shetty have qualified for the BWF World Tour Finals starting Wednesday. Indian tennis player Ramkumar Ramanathan will face Louis Wessels in the first round of the Antalya 3 Challenger. Top-seeded Team India beat Iraq by 3-0 in the group stage match at the ongoing Asian Team Squash Championships. Argentinian maestro Lionel Messi on Monday won the Ballon d'Or award for the best player in the world in the game of football for a record-stretching 7th time. The women's Ballon d'Or went to Alexia Putellas after the Spain midfielder guided Barcelona to Champions League glory. Manchester United announces Ralph Rangnick as the club's interim manager until the end of the season. 13 players at Portuguese club Belenenses, whose match against Benfica was abandoned on Saturday, have sadly tested positive for the new COVID-19 variant Omicron, accounting for every case currently in the country. Openers Abid Ali and Abdullah Shafiq scored individual 50s as Pakistan defeated Bangladesh by 8 wickets in the opening test in Chattogram, Bangladesh. In entertainment news coming in now, the so-called official kickoff to award season started on Monday in New York as Gotham Awards celebrated the best in independent films and television. South Korea's K-pop sensation BTS held their first in-person concerts since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic and drew thousands of fans in Los Angeles. The band will complete the 4-date run with shows on Wednesday and Thursday. Barbados declared hit singer Rihanna a national hero at its Republican celebrations in her hometown of Bridgetown. Prime Minister Mia Mottley announced that the 33-year-old would be conferred with the honor of National Hero of Barbados to chairs. Cher, Rita Ora, Iggy Pop, Jennifer Hudson and other music stars took center stage in the 2022 Pirelli calendar unveiled on Monday, shot by Canadian rocker and photographer Bryan Adams. Called On the Road, the calendar seeks to depict a day in the life of a touring musician. The so-called Queen of Christmas, Mariah Carey, is celebrating the holidays again. The television special Mariah's Christmas The Magic Continues will begin streaming on December 3rd and will feature a new debut with Kirk Franklin and Khalid. Oscar-winning filmmaker Paolo Sorrentino turns personal with the hand of God. Sorrentino said that making the film was therapeutic. The film has been selected as Italy's official submission for the International Feature Film category at next year's Academy Awards. The new 90-minute film, Ayanle, due for release in February, will be the first film screening for 3 decades in Somalia's war-ravaged capital, Mogadishu. Jean-Claude Bollian Baker, the adopted son of the late music hall singer Josephine Baker, shared his memories, his mother days ahead of Baker's burial in Pantheon. The famed black French-American singer and dancer will be buried in Paris's Pantheon Mausoleum, one of France's highest honors, on Tuesday. Back home, director S.S. Rajamouli announced the release date of the much-awaited trailer of his upcoming magnum opus, RRR. Rajamouli has been touring across the country to promote the film, which is due in January next year. Bollywood actor and dancer Nora Fatehi will be sharing stage with Nick Jonas, Kehlani and Tala Samman, among others, at the upcoming VidCon in Abu Dhabi on December the 3rd. So that's it in this edition of Express News. We'll be back tomorrow same time with the top 100 news of the day. So until we meet again, you take very good care of yourself. Stay masked. Thanks for watching. Namaskar.